Hello and welcome to There's No Place Like Summer Camp. I'm Andrew Waterhouse, and in this week's episode we're going over the steps to take to make sure you can get to summer camp. So come into our tent and I'll spill the beans. Hello everyone and welcome to the 13th episode of There's No Place Like Summer Camp. It's the unlucky one. I have a few updates just to provide you just before we kickstart this video. And first of all, I do notice that the video quality, it looks really good when I'm recording it and stuff and all the equipment and all the setup. But when I go back and view the videos, I do notice that there's a couple of issues. The first issue that I notice is this behind me, this absolute beam of a light behind me. It's not that strong, it's just natural daylight. And if I turn around, it's not even that bright at all, but on the camera, it looks absolutely awful. And to combat this, I'm looking at moving house. Of course, that's not the only issue that makes me want to move, but I'm going to be moving house soon and I'm going to be having a new setup. So it's going to be a bit of a transition period where I'm going to have a different backdrop and it'll be a lot better quality for you YouTube video watchers. But for those on podcast, hopefully it's good enough. So on to the core of the episode, because applying to summer camp can be quite a scary thing. And I'm hopefully going to be here to give you a bit of a quick fire update on how you apply to Camp America, what steps you need to take, and if there's any preparation that maybe you're missing out on right now. Okay, so step number one in this process is you need to be able to volunteer your time somewhere. You need to get credentials, you need to build up a really good CV, you need to have all these volunteering experiences working with kids ideally, and having loads of experience in what you want to teach, because they don't just hire anyone off the street. If you want to say, oh, I want to do archery for a summer camp for the summer, they're not going to hire you if you have no experience and if you've only just been to a couple of sessions and pulled a few bows, you know what I mean? So make sure you volunteer in the subject that you want to teach. Make sure you're applying to the places that you really want to do in Camp America. If you're going to be a counsellor for the summer, just go volunteer with some kids. Go and help out at your local agency or somewhere, or your youth club, or scouts, cubs, school. Anything like that really does help making you stand out and making camps want to hire you. So number two, you have to log into Camp America, and this registration process is really easy. It's not just Camp America that offer these services, by the way. It's just my experience from working with them. I haven't done any sponsorship deals with Camp America or anything like that. It's just that my personal experiences with Camp America. So when I do mention Camp America, I do mean all of the agencies, from Camp Leaders to BUNAC to AmeriCamps. There's loads of different agencies out there. So go research which agency you want to go for, and that's probably one of the first steps, to be honest, before applying for Camp America. Go and have a little mooch around, see which one takes your fancy, but we're going to be going ahead with Camp America for the purposes of this video. So just before we begin this video, I want to show you a little screenshot of what it's like for when you're applying to Camp America. Here's a screenshot of what the profile application process looks like. There'll be a things to do thing at the bottom, and that will regularly update as you work through your progress of the top banner there. So where you start with my profile, once that's complete, it will say things to do. You'll need to pay this assessment fee, something like that. And it's very easy to follow. And that things to do thing is a godsend, and it really, really helps you with applying through Camp America. There's plenty of videos and FAQs as well. So if you ever do get stuck, you can tweet them. You can tweet me perhaps, and I can point you in the right direction. So when you register, they're going to be asking you for lots of personal details: where you live, where you're from, your nationality, who your emergency contacts are, your passport information, and there's all this stuff that they're going to be asking for. So make sure you have that stuff to hand. It's going to be asking you about your passport checks, and it's going to also be asking about your education, background checks, and your work experience too. And you really do have to treat this like going for a job interview. And once all those details are filled in, we're on to step number 4, and this is payment. So we're kicking off with an application fee, a police check fee, and an assessment fee. And all of these 3 fees will be broken down in the link in the description for Camp America. You'll be able to see all the prices of how it's all broken down. So once you commit this initial, I think it's around about £120. I'm not entirely sure on the exact pricing, but once you've committed this amount of money down, you'll be asked to come for a one-to-one interview, and it can be pretty cool. So I've heard a lot of people, when I was applying for summer camp, they've gone to maybe a Costa, a McDonald's, pub, have a pub lunch with one of the Camp America representatives who volunteer and just help vet all the people through their application process and why you want to apply to camp. My personal one was in Costa Coffee, and it was very scary beforehand, thinking that it was very much like a job interview, because I wanted it that much that I didn't want to let myself down. So I made sure to prepare for it like it was a job interview. And once this one-to-one interview is out of the way, it's just a few simple questions and kind of like weeding out the weasels kind of thing. You pay a confirmation fee that you're dedicated to the cause, and now the ball's really rolling. So second in the payment process is the insurance, and then it's the medical check. And with the medical check, you need to remember that this medical check is done by you. You have to go to your doctors and ask for all of the background information that they have on you. Anything in the past will be brought up, and any like prescription drugs that you're on. It's a simple process, and even if you're on the NHS, you still have to pay a fee for this. I think mine was about £30. And while I did think it was expensive, when you think about it, you're actually taking away the doctor from someone, like helping someone else to fill in some paperwork. And that's all it is. Camp America, they'll have a little guide for you when you get up to this process, where you can see what you have to ask for and all the details. And number 4 in the payment process is the visa, and this is where it really does take it to the next level. You're really serious about going to camp, and your next step is to go to the US Embassy in London. You queue up in a long line of people asking for a visa, and you have to pay for this visa, and once you get checked with your passport, they'll send it off, and in a few days' time, you'll have to go collect it again, and you'll have the visa to get into America. And once you have this visa, this is the point in the application process where you start to have camps applying for you, and they'll be able to see all your progress in the Camp America application form. So we'll stop the payments right here, and we'll break down what happens when camps find you. So part of the application process earlier on, as I described, was to fill in your profile, and there's lots of interview style questions on there as well. You have to say why you're coming to Camp America, why you want to work there, how much experience you have with kids, how much experience you have with a specialty that you're trying to apply for, and there's plenty of other questions like your ideal place to go in America, your ideal job in America. And with all this information, you basically put, if you think about it, you basically have put an entry into like an eBay style of search for camps to find you. You don't find the camp. And the best way to stand out in all of these eBay auctions is to fill in as many details and take this as seriously as you can, because I know how serious that you want this, because you're watching this video and obviously you don't want to screw it up and not go to Camp America, because it's like a once in a lifetime experience. It's so good. To stand out to the next level, I also uploaded a video. So I have a little bit of experience in editing videos, and there's a background where I have a different YouTube channel where I did gaming videos, and I used that experience to go out one day and make a Camp America application video which I could attach to my profile, and then camps will be able to see more about me, how creative I can be, and how passionate I am to get over there and work for their summer camp. So with all these details now in place, camps will be able to find you on this eBay style auction website and contact you if they're interested. And this is where it gets really interesting. So when camps contact you, you're going to get a things to do thing in your Camp America profile where they'll be able to tell you which job they want you for, how long the camp's going to last, and a bit of background on the camp that wants you as well. So what kind of camp are they? Are they traditional? Are they disabled? Are they religious? Something like that. And once all these details are kind of like finalized, 99.9% of the camps are going to ask you to have an interview with them also, because they want to ask you a few questions that their camp is specifically about. So when it came to my application process, I had a Skype interview one-to-one with one of the camp directors. I explained how I wanted to be a part of the camp, what specialties I could do, what experience I have, and plenty more details as well. It's a very conversational, informal kind of thing, but you have to remember you're basically applying for a job and they are really serious about who they hire. So really, really do treat this like an interview. Once this is all out of the way, the next stage is going to be an orientation day. And this is basically Camp America letting all these tiny little volunteers down below come for one day where you have a few hours in a big hall and you basically have a laugh and get to know some rules about how camps work and kind of how Camp America will work as well, because there's plenty of questions that you're going to have at this point, and this is a perfect time to hear all the frequently asked questions in person. This is a place where you really do let your hair down, you have a bit of a laugh, and you kind of are eased into what summer camp is all about. So it's all about making a mockery of yourself, having a laugh, and just having a good time. And you'll be guided by people who work for Camp America and have done plenty of summer camps before it as well. So really do take this with a light-hearted approach, because it is really fun and you get to see other volunteers for the first time. Okay, so back onto the costing side of things. The orientation day is going to be free, and next up is also the flight. The outbound flight to camp is going to be totally free. The only thing you do have to pay for is the tax, and that could be about £90. So a flight to America for £90, I'm not complaining. And also the return flight from camp to the UK is also free as well. So you're really getting a bargain. Wrapping up the cost side of things now, the total cost is going to be about £780. I'll be putting a link in the description as well, so you can go and have a look on how this is all broken down. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. So that's pretty much the whole thing about applying to summer camp. It's not really too much more than that, really. Once you have your complete profile and it says on your Camp America thing, things to do, and it says nothing, you have to sit on the edge of your seat and be so excited, because the next few days you could get contacted by a summer camp and see if they want you. And it's really, really exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It was a long one, but there's plenty of questions that you're going to have. So please hit me up in the comments or tweet me at AndrewW09. In next week's episode, we really do take things up a notch, because so far all we've done is do the pre-camp stuff. All about applying to camp and getting your ass over there. Next week, we're in camp and we're going to be going through the common mistakes made while at camp. It should be a really interesting one. There's plenty more episodes where we're inside that camp bubble. So if you have any subject ideas and you want to have an episode, please let me know in the comments or tweet me at AndrewW09 as well. And as always, please check my website for some book pre-orders. It's called There's No Place Like Summer Camp, and it's the diary that I kept over my first year of volunteering for summer camp. So it's a really interesting read, it's really funny, and there's plenty of gossip and inner workings of what it's like inside the summer camp bubble. Alright, I'll see you next week, guys, when we're inside the summer camp bubble. I'll see you in a week's time.